Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about why I like Leonclaw so much. So I sort of made a video like several months ago that sort of talked about this a little bit. It was titled something like Why I Like Team Zuganic So Much. The title didn't really allude to sort of my reasoning for liking Leonclaw, so I figured we'd revisit it and sort of talk about it because it's a question that I get asked pretty frequently on the channel, on my streams, or in videos. So I figured I would talk about it a little bit. So why do I like Leonclaw so much? There's a couple different reasons, but ultimately I think it just looks cool. I really like the design of Leonclaw, the aesthetic of it in terms of the blade design. I really like. I'm a big fan of cats as well, and the motif is sort of like lion themed, which I think is pretty cool. A couple other reasons too is that Team Zuganic really reminds me of the White Tigers from the original series. So the White Tigers were also sort of this like animal themed team. They were all sort of like feral. King really reminds me a lot of Lee from the White Tigers. And I really just like King's design. I think it's a really cool character design. I actually think all of the character designs for Team Zuganic look really cool. And in Beyblade X, one of the things that I sort of like about the anime and the manga is that like the side characters feel pretty interesting. In fact, I'm more invested in wanting to know more about these side teams or these secondary teams to Team Persona. I think they're cool. So those are sort of the main reasons why I initially was drawn to Leonclaw, but why do I keep using it? Why do I keep making content on it? Well, initially when it came out, a lot of people said it was not particularly good. A lot of people threw it into the bottom of the tier list with things like Dronzer and Drigger and Rhino, and I didn't agree. I was spending a lot of time with it. I was using it a lot, and I was like, I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's bottom tier. And in most of my tier lists, it sort of reflects that. I typically am putting it somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's like actually S tier. I don't think it's like the top of the tier list, but I think it's like average. I wouldn't say it's bad. I definitely wouldn't say it's one of the worst. So it sort of became my mission to try to give the blade a little bit of redemption. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just start making videos about Leonclaw. I'll start testing it on different things. I'll sort of show what it's good at, what it's not good at. And then that wasn't enough. So I was like, okay, well, I'll start taking it to tournaments and see how well that I can do, at a tournament with it. And then it became a goal to sort of win a tournament with Leonclaw, to sort of give it its redemption. And I live in an area where like the closest tournaments are like 2 hours away. So I'm not going every week. Otherwise I probably would have hit my goal already. So I usually go like once a month, once every other month when I can fit it into my schedule. Cause I work full time and I have bills, and 2 hours one way, that's a 4 hour plus trip plus the length of the tournament. So it's not super easy to schedule it out. As much as I would like to go to more, but so far my track record with it at tournaments has been good. Every tournament that I've been to, my win-loss ratio has been good. I've always left with a positive win-loss ratio, 3-1, 3-2. It's always been positive, so that's good. Overall, I think that the blade does relatively well, especially considering how the meta has creeped a little bit. We've got a lot of things that are sort of running the meta, like Wizard Rod, Phoenix, Buster. There's a lot of like much heavier later releases that Leonclaw is able to keep up with some of those pretty well. And yeah, it's fun. I sort of like the narrative side of it as well. Like, it would be very easy for me to just use the most meta releases and go to a tournament and make a video on it, but I don't think it's as fun to watch, and it's not as fun for me. I like the additional challenge of trying to take something that's sort of a rogue pick that a lot of people aren't using and see sort of how far I can stretch it, how far I can take it. And I definitely think that winning is like not out of like the realm of possibility. Like I said, my win-loss ratio has been pretty good. And I've got another big tournament in October that I'm looking forward to. I think that hopefully I can do well at that one. That's going to be a Hasbro release only tournament, so only things that have released up to Hasbro. So there won't be like Wizard Rod or Buster or any of the UX stuff, unless, you know, Hasbro just decides to just dump all that stuff in October. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, the narrative part of it, I think, is as fun as the competition side. Like, it makes the videos more interesting when I've got this sort of linear narrative of trying to like achieve a certain goal with a certain blade. At least for me, I find it interesting. I don't know if you guys find that interesting as well. Like, would it be more or less interesting if I was just to take the meta picks and go to a tournament and try to win with that? I think that would arguably be easier, but I think it would take some of the fun out of it for me. That's just how I am with a lot of competitive hobbies like this, you know, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And things like that. I tend to pick sort of rogue picks. But I also think there's a bit of an advantage to picking rogue stuff as well, which I may end up doing a separate video on. But, you know, primarily focus on Leonclaw and why I like it so much. But bottom line is, I just think it looks cool. I like the character that uses it. Like I said, I've been following the manga and stuff, and I just like King. I like Team Zuganic. I like the motif. I like cats. All of those things combined just sort of lends itself to me being drawn to this particular Beyblade. So I'm kind of interested to know if you guys, since getting into Beyblade X, have found yourself sort of gravitating towards one Beyblade for one reason or another. It doesn't have to be a rogue pick. There are, you know, top tier blades that I really like the aesthetic of, that I really like the look of. Phoenix Wing, I think, looks really cool. Same with Wizard Rod. I actually really like the design aesthetic of Wizard Rod. I like the chip art. I think it looks really cool. I know a lot of people are tired of it, but I actually really like the aesthetic of that one. I'm interested to know sort of what you guys have ended up gravitating towards in terms of like your favorite Beyblade from Beyblade X. I don't think a question that I've asked a whole lot, but I'm interested to know what you guys like the most. Anyway, that's a lot of me rambling about Leonclaw, but I figured I would answer the question since it gets asked a lot. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, hit the like for the algorithm, drop your comment letting me know your favorite Beyblade X and why. Subscribe if you haven't already for future Beyblade content, and I will see you guys in the next one.